Hi! So today I'll show you how you can use Cognee GraphRAG with this simple Jupyter Notebook example. So first we need to install Cognee. I already installed it before, so it's already done. You just wait until it's finished. Afterwards, we need to get our OpenAI LLM API key. I have it here prepared, so I'm just gonna paste it in. If you don't know how to get it, you can have a guide and read it. I linked it here. So then we run this step so we can save that API key for use later on. Then we need to give the file path for the file that we want to process with Cognee. And in my case, I'm giving a location to Alice in Wonderland, and I have copied the whole book here in this text file. And I'm gonna submit it to Cognee. So now I'm gonna run this step to get the path. And this is the most important step. Here we import Cognee. Here we add the book. We can also add multiple documents, but in this case, I'm just using the one book. And we're going to run the Cognify process. So this is going to take a couple of minutes. While we're waiting, I'm going to talk a bit about what Cognee actually does and how it works. So Cognee is a GraphRAG. It's also a kind of memory store for LLMs. So if you have documents that you want to store and then query on later on with your LLM, you can use Cognee for this. You can add the documents by running Cognee add. We're going to store them in our database. And then when you run Cognify, we're actually processing your documents. So we're looking for creating vector chunks outside of your documents. And then we're also creating a knowledge graph from the semantic relationships inside of the documents themselves. Later on, we combine both approaches to give you the answer. So we find the vector chunks that are most related to the question you're asking, and also all the semantical relationships that have happened in the document that are related to your query. So I might skip this part ahead until it finishes, and I'll be right back. So now when the Cognify process is finished, we can query the data. It took about 2 minutes for Cognify to complete all its steps. So let's ask a question to the from Cognee, and let's ask about all the influential characters that were part of Alice in Wonderland. So here they are. Alice, of course, Cheshire Cat, the March Hare, the Mad Hatter, the Queen of Hearts, King of Hearts, and the White Rabbit. Pretty good. Now let's ask another question. So like, how did Alice end up in Wonderland? See what it says. So she ended up by following the White Rabbit down a rabbit hole when she became bored with sitting with her sister. Great. Now let's ask another question about, for example, Alice's personality. And yes, she is curious, imaginative. So this is basically how Cognee works. We process your data that you give us, we store it, and you can query it later on, get questions related to your data. You can add multiple documents, not just one. Now this is a bonus step. It's not part of how Cognee works, but this is a visualization step, so we can show you behind the scenes how it looks like. So if I run this here, we can see all the entities and relationships between them in the graph. So for example, the different colors denote different things in the graph. The reds are actually chunks from the document itself. The orange parts are actually entities, and the purple parts are entity types. So for example, character, we can see all the characters from the novel here. You can see a relationship thinly here. If you can see Isa, it's related to all the people. So for example, the king is a character, the hatter is the character, the white rabbit is a character. So it's pretty good. What's also very interesting is you can see all their relationships. So if I moved it here, it's very interactive. It's pretty nice to do. And you can see at the middle, it's Alice with almost all the graphs. So yeah, this is how the data looks like visualized. If you liked the tutorial, please leave a thumbs up. If you have any other question, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'll add additional links and relevant information in the description box below. And we also have a Discord server you want to join. The link will be in the description.